on it as well as Doppler 12 is moving around. And yeah, that's very significant right there. So anybody in Era, Lois, and of course Valley View. Valley View still got a little bit of time, but you definitely need to be taking precautions because this is coming your way right along I-35. So Doppler 12, again, really showing the definition of this. And you can see all the way up in Gainesville, you know, you're getting heavy rain, you're getting lightning, you're getting a lot that is associated with severe thunderstorm. Might even be seeing some hail, but here's a big portion of your hail core right there. But this is where you get those damaging winds and the destructive force of tornadic activity with this very defined hook that is moving towards Valley View, and then it looks like the north side of Lake Ray Roberts, right along Mountain Springs. So yeah, very, very rough look there. And again, watches and warnings. We'll go over the map. Tornado watch still in effect for Oklahoma counties, but at the moment it looks like Oklahoma is just about in the clear unless this storm decides to move a little bit. But right now it's so big and it's almost getting to the point where it's going to be moving very slow. So again, very dark out there, can't see very well. Grayson County, we are in line of it, and we did get a tornado watch added just recently because of this storm. This storm is so large that now they have every reason to suspect that they're going to continue to tornado warn this as it goes on to the east. So again, looking like it's going to be pretty late night, Brian.
Yeah, I'm checking in with the National Weather Service again on both ends, both Fort Worth and Norman, just to see what's going on. Of course, this is mostly for, again, our North Texas counties. And as Brady just mentioned, again, it's quiet in Oklahoma right now. But this thing has seemed to take advantage of whatever leftover instability there was. So at least right now, no updates to pass along regarding this tornado warning. But again, this is going to be mainly for the southern half of Cooke County. And it's going to be getting the communities of Era and Valley View here pretty soon. Also want to report there could be some extremely large hail coming into Gainesville here in the not too distant future. We could be getting up to the size of tennis balls. So extremely large hail coming in too. And that's going to be impacting the I-35 corridor here pretty soon. So again, if you know anybody who's traveling anywhere from Marietta to Gainesville to Sanger right now, definitely check in on them. Or if you can just wait to maybe get off the road here and kind of seek some shelter, definitely recommended, considering, again, very, very large hail coming into the I-35 corridor.
Yeah, and I mean, this thing is a monster, Brian. So, I mean, we do have the hail core, which is significant on its own. But again, we do have the tornadic spin up. And I mean, we're starting to see it. So Valley View is probably starting to get some hail right now. And it looks like the hail core is still kind of leaning and favoring the southern side of Cooke County. So Gainesville, I know you're right on the edge. You're on pins and needles right now. But it does look like the intense parts of the storm is going to just glance you ever so slightly as it kind of goes between Sanger and Gainesville. Again, this storm has not lost any steam. It is still very tall according to our EchoTop scan. And then again, there's your rotation right there, and it is heading right towards Valley View. So again, Valley View, please seek shelter. Center of the house, bathroom, away from windows. This is very serious because based on radar, we're seeing very powerful velocities head towards you. Very damaging winds are going to occur as it gets closer and closer to I-35. So yeah, anywhere along I-35 is about to be a very, very big danger zone with this storm fast approaching. And the hail cores, I mean, well, this area's been seeing hail throughout the day, but this thing is really picking up. And so just a few other things to note. It is still very warm out there, and that is not good when you're trying to deal with severe thunderstorms. That gives them fuel as it's moving along the Texas counties. You got 80s all the way over here in Gainesville, even dropping down just to 79. And what the heat index feels like, we're dealing with that. And then there's a wind gust for you. That's what it sounds like here, a 38-mile-an-hour wind gust here in Sherman out ahead. Brian, what do you got for me?
Yeah, I just want to pop it up on Max 2 just because we're kind of getting some questions as to what it's looking like for Grayson County. Obviously, this is kind of a neighboring county over. So I just want to put a quick ETA on that because this thing is, again, kind of creeping to the east here at about 30, 35 miles an hour. So here's some ETAs. If this storm holds together, which again, it just does not appear to be losing steam. So Whitesboro about 11 o'clock, Gunner maybe just after 11, Sherman about 11:20 or so, Whitewright 11:30. And again, we're going to continue to keep an eye on it as it's moving through Cooke County right now. But folks in Grayson County definitely need to be paying attention to this as we go into the next hour or so. and maybe just start thinking about where to take shelter. Again, you have plenty of time and you're not in a formal warning, but this is kind of your call to action at this point that, hey, you got a dangerous storm coming in from the west. So just wanted to kind of update on that. Again, tornado warning still remains in place at least through 11 o'clock tonight as it's moving east at about 25, 35 miles an hour. And the communities directly impacted right now are Era and Valley View. So they are the ones that are going to be dealing with this possible tornado for the moment. I'm going to zoom right back in again and just, wow, the radar images on this are just simply incredible. Let me pull this right back up for you and see where that area of circulation is. Again, heading right into Valley View. Again, it's still not quite there, but you can see that in the area of rotation. I'm going to pull up the gate-to-gate shear on this, and still paying some pretty high values there. So
yeah, see if you can pause it, Brian, and stop it right there, and we can get a good reading on that green pixel right there. Or I'll pull it up over here. It's so right there. There you go. There's 104 mile an hour velocity on this thing right here. So that, if that's not tornadic, I don't know what is, but that is heading towards you, Valley View. So please seek shelter in Valley View. This is a time to really take this seriously because this is a very powerful storm. Now, guys, I'm going to go back to the wall with Max 1, if you can guys transition over there. But this is what we're dealing with this tornadic storm. Yes, it's a giant thunderstorm covering up an entire county right now. But let me go and walk on over to the wall and just show you that even just on the surface level, we are seeing very strong winds. Look at, I didn't cover everything. Nearly 50 mile an hour winds here in Sherman, Grayson County. That's why everybody in Grayson County is asking, should we be concerned? And the answer is yes, but we still got some time before the storm gets here, because right now it is knocking on the door of Valley View. It is pretty much over Era, going over Lois, and next in line is going to be Mountain Springs. Tioga, I am concerned about you as well. You are down the way, also up in Collinsville, just because this storm, we're seeing it move to the east, but we've also seen a northerly trend with some of these storms, which means as of right now, it's heading to the east, but if it decides to deviate, tornadoes can do that, then you need to be concerned as well. So anybody downstream of this, and we're looking basically on the western Grayson County line. So again, watches and warnings, the tornado watch in place, severe thunderstorm warning on top of this thing, but the tornado warning until 11 p.m. And yeah, it's getting pretty loud in here as we're getting pretty torrential rain. You can see on our Sherman Tower cam to the west, very dark. Can't see any lightning associated with it, but there is lightning and right in Grayson County. So we are getting some very heavy rain out in front of this storm, but that's just the beginning. It's going to get a lot heavier as this storm moves in. But again, it's over Cooke County right now. Gainesville, you are getting poured on right now and might even be seeing some hail associated with this. But the tornadic activity, it's all about Valley View, Valley View. We keep mentioning it because this is a serious storm that we have more than 100 mile an hour winds associated with. Brian, give me an update.
At least all I have right now from the National Weather Service is that they are getting reports of large trees down in Roston.
Okay.
On that Farm Road 922 where that possible tornado just went through. So again, this storm is producing damage. It's producing large hail. Definitely, again, take it seriously, and it looks like it's inbound to Valley View here in the it looks like they just popped up a new tornado warning.
They did, and so that would lend me to believe that they think this is actually moving to the southeast. So this is going down into Denton County, but it does include Tioga. So heads up in Tioga, new tornado warning just in place. Brian, can you read me the information on the new warning?
Yes, severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado located 9 miles northwest of Sanger, moving east at 45. This will cross I-35 just to the south of Valley View. That being said, if you're in Valley View, make sure you're in your tornado-safe place, just out of precaution. But this is going to be kind of between Valley View and Sanger. So again, this thing's starting to take a little bit of a turn to the south and east. But going to be Ray Roberts Park, Johnson Branch, Ray Roberts Park, Isle du Bois at around 10:50, Pilot Point and Aubrey about 10:55. And Salina at about 11. So again, this is probably going to be clipping southern Grayson County here think most of us north of 82 or along and north of 82 will probably be okay. But again, this is taking aim on southern Cooke and southern Grayson counties as well.
So this core is about 30 miles an hour, or 20, less than 30 miles away from Tioga, but they are expecting it to kind of move down to the southeast through Sanger. So
let's put a storm track on that here. I got you.
Yeah. So yeah, zoom that out. We'll get a storm track on this, so we get some timing of who's going to see this soon. Again, new tornado warning that is extended. So earlier I was talking about Collinsville veering north. Collinsville looks like lucky day because you're going to be seeing some very heavy rain and lightning. But the tornadic part of this is veering down to the southeast. Of course, now we got to start thinking about people farther down to the south. Anybody living in McKinney? Well, got to be paying attention to this storm right now. So Valley View, of course, this thing is pretty much right on top of you, and it's only going to get stronger as it continues to move. So stepping out of the way, I know all the way off to the side, Leonard, I know you're concerned. You've been cleaning up storm activity from last night's or 2 nights ago. So I can't even keep track of all the storms we've had this week, but that was a big mess. Leonard saw about 3-inch sized hail just a couple nights ago, and this storm could be tracking its way as well. Again, Sherman, that's where we're at. We're hearing the heavy rain, but the big show is not yet here. Brian Briggs has put a storm track on this.
Yes, so I'll get the velocity here. We can take a look at that and see kind of
and real quick, if you don't mind clicking the new warning, just so I can see the information on this. So this is starting to move into Sanger as well. This one goes until 11:15. The previous one was until 11. Perfect right there. So this does include the southwestern corner of Grayson County. That's Tioga. So heads up in Tioga. Start planning on where you're going to take your safe space. But other cities included Aubrey, Krugerville, Lincoln Park, Pilot Point, and of course Lake Ray Roberts. It's Memorial Day weekend. I wouldn't be surprised if there's people out camping at the lake. Hopefully you're checking in on those people if you know anybody at Lake Ray Roberts. But again, powerful thunderstorm. Gainesville, the most tornadic part, you're getting dodged by this as well. But actually, Brian, I'm just going to get that hail scope on there. And then there's the velocity if you want to, if you want to get a scan on that, pause that. We can see what we're working with there, because that is about as defined a couplet as I can imagine.
It's moved out of your viewing area, so I'm going to reset this for you.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, take your time with that. So again, Valley View, Sanger, what is looking like a tornado is heading your way. We don't have confirmation on it, but based on radar, see if you can just get those really colorful spots, like right there is where I'm thinking, or right over there in that green. That's where you're gonna like
some rain and hail to about penny size is all he observed.
Yeah. So again, you said Lake Ray Roberts starting to come in. Actually, I'm gonna see if I can skip forward, Steve, so we can kind of look at the velocity scan. Well, there's
check out the hail core of this thing.
Yeah, that is
got some tennis balls in there, I think.
Oh, for sure.
Now, if we were to stop that and let Brian click that, I would suspect it show egg. Would you want to do that, Mr.
And then I have something I gotta relay here back to y'all real quick.
Of course. Okay, it's giving us golf ball. Normally, this is under about 20% from what's actually happening. The estimator's good. Not perfect, so I think we're looking at somewhere in the egg to tennis ball range on that hail. So that's a dangerous hail core. Again, Tioga, you're really in the target zone for that hail, and be aware of that.
So according to the Grayson County Dispatch Office, Cooke County communication towers may be down. So that pertains to 911 calls right now in the county. So 911 calls because of the storm may not be going out. So just heads up. There may be kind of some interference with that. I know there's a lot going on in that area, so communications may be going down because of the storm. Just wanted to relay that. So maybe a good idea if you don't need to call 911 unless it's an emergency. Of course, we're already getting some significant damage reports in southern Cooke County, so just heads up, could be dealing with some 911
Can you
issues.
share some of those damage reports with us quickly?
Yes, let's see.
Real quick, we are noticing a very compelling velocity coupling, folks. I mean, the strongest one we've seen this whole night from all the coverage we've done. It's just northeast of Sanger, approaching Lake Ray Roberts. So this, again, will be consistent with a tornado on the ground. Don't have a visual confirmation on that in the last 5 minutes, but this is very strong evidence that we've got a dangerous storm, probably producing a tornado on the ground, if not very high straight line winds, and it's moving in the general direction of Tioga. Okay, Brian. Tell us more about the damage.
Really, at least the good news to report is the last one they had was from Roston, and that was about 15 or so minutes ago. So other than that, we are getting some golf ball size hail reports in Valley View. Let's see, power lines are down in Sanger and places south and along, and large trees down also in Sanger in Cooke County. So this is 12 miles west-northwest of Highway 51, and large trees down there reported by spotters. So again, it's getting pretty messy out there. Again, hopefully everybody was taking shelter. And again, in the circulation now, primarily to the east. So we'll keep you updated on some of these damage reports as they continue to roll in.
Well, as you can see here with Brady at the controls, backing up a half hour ago where we saw gate-to-gate shear. That's the total rotation inside the storm of 105 miles per hour. And as we sequence that forward, you can see the track of this velocity couplet has definitely been to the east-southeast. Go ahead and scroll that forward, Brady.
Yeah, for
and you
sure.
can see how it just scrolls right across the screen there, just a little bit south of due east. So we think there's no reason to suspect that motion will change. And based on that, it would probably go a little south of Van Alstyne into northern Collin County by the time it gets that far east, but could affect right there.
That
there it is.
blue looped in with the green.
And with the track, I think we're definitely looking at this, for the most part, staying down in Collin County.
I mean, it's in Denton County right now.
Yeah. And tracking into Collin County. So for
Right.
most of Grayson County, you're gonna escape this mess. But there could be some damaging hail and wind right here around the periphery of that, here in southwest Grayson. Again, Sherman, Whitesboro, Pottsboro, over the bottom, you're good. This storm will not impact you in any major way. You'll have some lightning. Oh my God, look at the hail core in this
Yeah,
thing.
Tioga is seeing at least golf ball sized hail right now.
Yeah, and sometimes what can happen, folks, is because these severe storms are not vertical, they're tilted. You can have the tornado here and the hail 2 or 3 miles away. So it's not always all stacked vertically, but it's fairly close. So we know the tornadic portion of the storm is a little south of Tioga, whereas there still may be damaging hail falling in Tioga. Either way, we don't think Whitesboro, Sherman, or anywhere north of Highway 82 is going to have any effects from this really terrible storm. Brady was telling me topped to 65,000 feet. We haven't seen one that big the entire spring in Texoma. That is the new record for the season.
Yeah, this is a monster. And I mean, if it wasn't so dark, we would be able to see this looming over from Grayson County for sure. But as it stands right now, I mean, you can see, I mean, that is about as perfect of a circular storm as you can get.
Yeah, no kidding.
That goes all the way from Sherman down to Sanger. And, but it is kind of going southeast. So, I mean, Gunner's going to see some hail. Pretty much anywhere along southern Grayson County is going to see some very significant hail. But as far as for the tornadic bit of this, it looks like it is just now on the county line of Denton County and Cooke County, pretty much right on that triple point between Grayson County, just to the west of Grayson County, but this will be tracking into Denton County and Collin County.
Can we pause that and do a velocity query? Because I got to suspect there's some 100-mile-per-hour winds in this thing on the last frame. Folks, again, this is what we're talking about when we talk about velocity couplets and the intensity of them. When you see bright green and bright red close together, and let's try clicking on that one right there.
Yeah, you bet. You
I
bet.
bet you that sucker's 100 miles per hour shear. If it's a dime, there you
Nailed
go.
it.
Velocity is 101 miles per hour. What that tells you is there's some damaging wind in that, at least the EF1 level of wind. So that is likely to be a tornado or a very high speed damaging wind at the surface. And as Brady's been telling you the last little bit, that's tracking generally into northern Collin County, Denton first, then Collin. And the edge of that will affect Tioga with possibly some big hail and maybe Gunner. That should be about it. By the time you get to Van Alstyne, we're looking at maybe some gusty winds coming out of this because the storm can send out a gush of wind 20 to 30 miles away from the center. But the farther away you get, the wind tends to diminish a little bit. And that's why we're looking at really no big problems in Sherman, Whitesboro, or Gainesville from this storm.
Okay, yeah, and so, yeah, we're keeping an eye on all the values, but I'm going to go and take the wide view real quick, Steve, just so we can reinforce that this is south of the Red River. I mean, the storm earlier, it was just north of the Red River, and Texas was out in the clear. Not the case with this one, because this one has just formed into a self-serving tornado. Did they extend that tornado warning?
Yeah, they just, for southern Grayson and northern Collin. Yep.
All right, so new update.
Do we have Mark online anywhere?
Here's the new tornado warning. Goes until 11:45. It's now just past 11 o'clock. And this one does include Grayson County again, right on that southern border of Grayson County. So Van Alstyne, that does include you as well. You're going to expect some damaging hail with this. In fact, I'm going to go and read the warning to you because this is a confirmed tornado. So again, we've seen it on radar. It's been confirmed on the ground. Was located over Ray Roberts Park and about 9 miles northeast of Sanger, moving fast at 30 miles per hour. So this is pretty much right along the county line. If you can see where the county line is between Grayson and Denton, Grayson and Collin, that's where the worst part of this storm is traveling right now. So if you are near the county line, definitely take shelter out in front of this. Gunner, I would probably be fairly taking cautions about this as it's moving. It is now east of I-35. Looks like it's more northeast Denton County right now. Let's go back to velocity because that's where we can see it really well. In fact, actually, I'm going to switch over to Doppler 12 because we can see especially in there. Guys, do you mind centering up Doppler 12 just a little bit? Kind of like with Tioga in the middle. Just a little bit. There you go. So what I'm seeing is that Pilot Point is likely the area that needs to be taking shelter right now. So Pilot Point should be seeking shelter because this is where we suspect the tornado is moving. And as it's going to move across the Denton County northern line into looks like Salina and then Weston in Collin County just over. But Gunner, you're going to be really close to this. Tioga, you're just on the edge, but Tioga, I mean, you're getting a lot of hail right now as this moves. So we do have a confirmed tornado. I would suspect it's still on the ground, and imagine it looks like it's right at Pilot Point right now. And as far as, so we do, okay, so here's a new update with the watches and warnings map. New tornado watches issued downstream of this giant storm. That does include Fannin County. So heads up if you're in Fannin County, this goes until 1 in the morning. Tornado watch, and this tornado watch does include Collin and Hunt counties. These were just added moments ago for this very significant storm that is just tracking to the east, and it's pretty much right on the county line. I mean, you could see the tornado warnings right where it's at. It's just going right mostly to the east, but the way they're drawing these boxes tells me that they do feel like it is on a bit of a southerly track as it continues to move. Guys, if I can get back up on the wall with Max 1, I'm going to go through this a little bit more. Yeah, so zoomed in right here, we are seeing the 2 tornado warnings. Of course, the newest one goes until 11:45, so we got about 40 minutes on that storm. And again, the way I'm seeing this is just a bowling ball of a storm. But the part we're focused on is right back here. This is where we've seen the tornadic rotation in the southwest corner. It just passed through Sanger. It's northeast of Denton, so staying clear of Denton right now. But it is heading towards Salina. That's going to be one of the next parts that I would be very concerned with. So the old tornado warning, that's till 11:15. That's for the one back here that just passed through Valley View. Again, Gainesville, you're in the clear now. This thing has passed you by. So good news if you're in Gainesville and Sherman. We're getting heavy rain. I can hear it here at the station, but it is not the brunt of this this storm. And as far as a timing window on it, if we do still expect it to kind of go east to southeast, Salina, you're definitely in the line right there. Same with Melissa all the way down 11:22, but I do expect this to kind of still be on an easterly track. There's your hail core. Hasn't slowed down at all. Van Alstyne, you're seeing hail very soon. Steve, what do you got for an update?
Something super unusual I want to show y'all and you.
Yeah.
Let's go to Max 2 behind us, guys. We've got the velocity scope pulled up. We don't see this hardly ever. If we go to Max 2, we've got a velocity scale behind us of 133 miles per hour. This is almost unquestionably on the ground. We see anything over 110. So where are we? This is Lake Ray Roberts here. Off to the right, we see Pilot Point. Very tight circulation. Definitely a tornado moving east-southeast. So, I mean, we don't see this very often. Normally it's like 80, 90, 100 miles per
Right.
hour. When you see a gate-to-gate shear, that's the total rotation in the storm. That high,
Yes.
it's
coming
almost
right for Pilot
certainly
Point.
on the ground, 95% chance it's on the ground.
Any updates, Brian? National Weather Service? Anything on this?
Other than the fact that they're just saying that everybody in Pilot Point needs to get in their safe place
Yes,
right
absolutely.
now.
Yeah, and Tioga too, for that matter.
Yeah, because it's going to kind of pass right between Tioga and Pilot Point. So folks there definitely need to get in their tornado safe place now. You've had ample warning and downstream warning on that. So again, that's kind of what we're looking at is areas in southern, getting out of Cooke County now, but into portions of Grayson.
Southwestern Grayson.
Yeah, southwestern Grayson
Now
County.
we got our storm chaser Mark Smith down in that area. The weather is horrible, as you imagine, but he's making an effort to get in there and let us know what's going on. I'm going to slide the scope over. Let's step out of the shot real quick.
Okay.
If you want to stay on the
Yep.
screen and update this, because I can see the velocity scan just changed. We want to give the folks the very latest information on that.
Right, yeah, so Steve's going to get a new run on this. Again,
Clear the screen.
and when we're scanning these velocities on radar, I mean, just because you see a new one that isn't as fast as the
Oh,
old one.
look at that. Look at that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really curious about that red right there. See what we're seeing.
129.
Pilot Point.
Yeah.
Take shelter immediately. This is a very dangerous tornado. I mean, this is incredibly strong right there. That is a powerful, powerful tornado that is heading towards Pilot Point. So anybody in Pilot Point, take shelter, center of the house, avoid the windows, grab a pillow, go into the bathtub if you need to. Do what you can to protect yourself because this is a violent tornado.
Well, look
that
at
is
this on
heading your way.
Doppler 12 too. I mean, unquestionable, the spiral.
Right.
I mean, this is what you call a really strong signature, radar signature of the tornado, right? I mean, it looks like it's just north of Pilot Point. So Tioga, you may have very strong easterly winds, 50, 60, 70 miles per hour. You're on the north side of the circulation. Pilot Point is just really inside the circulation or just south of it.
All the way from down here.
Oh yeah, oh my God, the inflow is incredible on
Yeah.
this. If you step outside, if you're watching from Sherman or Durant or Bonham, the air is so humid and it's so windy tonight that information is just being fed into the storm. And it says, hey, time to grow. Unfortunately, that's what's happening
Yeah.
here. So we have almost certainly a tornado on the ground right on 377 here
Yes.
between Tioga and Pilot Point, and it's pushing east-southeast. So that means, Gunner, you will not get a tornado unless something dramatically changes. But I want you to notice just how well-defined the spiral is on our Doppler 12, something that really makes that a great tool to warn you about what's going on.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's been consistent with showing us exactly where the tornado's been since it exited Montague County. So
Yeah, and the same story earlier with the one that went through Love County, which apparently did not produce any damage as far as we know.
right.
But it did definitely touch down. Our storm chaser Mark Smith saw it.
But I'll be honest, this storm puts that one to shame.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, this is what we were worried about is what's happening right now. And I mean, everything we'd been ready to go in. Brian, you got an update on this storm?
So I just got off the phone with our storm chaser, Mark Smith. He is currently getting hit by baseball-sized hail in Tioga right now.
Oh, no.
I could hear it over the phone, and he's seeing power flashes. So
Okay.
I essentially, at this point, told him he needs to get to safety because it is dark. If we can get him up on the stream, you know, we will take his stream.
Right.
But he is not necessarily in a safe spot right now, and that's why we're telling everybody to take shelter. But he is getting battered by hail right now, and he is seeing power flashes in the Tioga area. So again, very, very dangerous storm. It's coming in dark, and again, we're going to try to get him to safety first. Of course, safety first. And if we can get a stream with him, we'll keep you updated on that. But again, that's what he's relaying coming out of that area, out of that storm.
But very important note, Brian, the baseball-sized hail. I mean, we scanned golf ball on radar. We figured that was less than. We're seeing baseball, and I'm seeing I mean, that is a huge core.
Yes.
And so, Gunner, you just heard it. Baseball-sized hail, that's coming towards you right there. Baseball hail in Tioga, and that is coming to Gunner. Again, the tornado. There's multiple elements to this storm. It's huge. And so we have the hail core, we have the damaging winds. Pilot Point, that's where the tornado is. We're just calling it a tornado when we see.
Still confirmed.
Yeah, still confirmed.
Still confirmed.
And well, there you go.
Look at the hail core, guys. This monster.
Yeah. So,
Heads up, Gunner.
yeah, heads up, Gunner. Strong hail heading your way. You're going to be hearing it. And with the winds too, you don't want one of those hail cores blasting through a window. So stay away from windows as well. Take shelter in Gunner. Even though This isn't necessarily tornado, but this is very violent hail.
Well, also a call to action too, anywhere from Howe to Van Alstyne to even down into Anna. You folks need to be getting into your tornado safe place because you're also under a tornado warning. Also very, very extremely large hail. And if you know anybody who's traveling along 75 between Sherman and maybe anywhere from Sherman, Howe, Van Alstyne, Anna, Melissa, maybe they're coming out of McKinney, they're coming up from Dallas. If they're driving in this right now, check on them. They still have plenty of time to get out of the way from this very dangerous storm that just does not seem to be slowing down at all.
Yeah, there's your reading right there. Steve stopped us earlier to show us 133 mile an hour gate to gate shear, 129, just 4 less. Still incredibly strong with right on the nose, 100 mile per hour winds. This is a destructive tornado that is moving through into Pilot Point right now in Tioga. Brian just came in with a report from Mark Smith, baseball-sized hail. Brian, do you have anything to add on that?
I'm gonna pull this up real quick. I'm getting reports of a debris ball once again.
Oh my
here
God!
on,
Okay.
On here, so yeah. Or if you got it back there.
No, go ahead. Let's jump in.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Jump
I'm
in.
hearing
Let's get Brian on the desk, guys. Yeah, there you go.
So I'm hearing reports that there is debris signature, although it's kind of hard to see, at least here.
Try running it back and forth, see if you can kind of, or the time thing, the. Yeah,
there we go.
We're getting
Maybe
strong
it's
winds
down
here at the
there.
station, about 30 miles
like
per
try
hour.
running
The
this
inflow
back.
is incredible.
Yeah, that green spot right there next to Pilot Point, that would be something that I would.
That's it. That's it right there southeast of Tioga. See that?
Yep.
That blue spot, that's it.
That's it right there.
Right here. I think
So is it drifting north?
well, sometimes you can have maybe the debris it's already elevated from being whirled around the storm. It's tough to say for sure, but it makes sense it would be tracking east-southeast.
Right.
Here, I'm going to put your
However,
velocity back
Tioga
there.
is in the tornado warning area, and it looks like the velocity may have dropped a little bit in the last scan, which would be nice. But oh my Lord, this
Yeah,
thing's
I don't
strong.
think. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, try.
It didn't drop that much.
No.
Sometimes the radar is updating is like mid-scan. I bet you it'll pick back up on the.
There we
There
go.
it is.
There we go. There we go. So if you're watching Tioga and you're probably wondering, okay, what are you guys telling us? We're telling you the tornado is probably to your south, but you're still in a cone of destructive wind and hail. Our storm chaser, Mark Smith, said he is getting baseball hail in Tioga. You need to be in a place of safety, just like a tornado warning, for this kind of a hailstorm, this kind of a windstorm. It is a serious, life-threatening situation in Tioga, even though it looks like the tornado will pass to your south.
We have 2 tornadoes right now.
Yeah, that's what it's starting to look like.
Yeah, one, we're getting power flashes reported on 377 right now, and the second one is on 377 in St. John Road. So they're close to each other, but yeah, getting power flashes reported there in portions of Grayson County. So definitely, again, a serious storm moving through.
Now, do we have an exact location? Is that south of Tioga? Is that north of Tioga? Where is that exactly? It's got to be south of Tioga.
I don't have an exact
It's right down in that
location.
area, folks. So within a mile or two, we're talking Tioga being in that area, like we just said, of high winds and huge hail.
377 in St. John Road.
Dangerous area. It's hard to know all the roads.
Real quick, guys, we got a picture from a viewer sent in. I'm not too sure what it is, but guys, if you want to pop it up on the screen with Steve right now, you can take a look at it first as it's coming in.
Oh my.
There you go.
Well, if that's not a tornado, then I don't know what cheese pizza is. That's a tornado, folks. Obviously, one of the things you want to vet, check out a tornado. Can you see clearly the horizon? Yes. Can you see the clouds in contact with the horizon? Yes. Is it a funnel shape? Yes. Tornado on the ground. Now, where was this, guys?
Where was this, guys?
North of Denton County.
Okay, so it's probably north of Sanger, which is where it's been going through. Okay, so that is an evidence of that tornado probably about 10, 15 minutes ago, something like that. Well-defined tornado. Tough to say, okay, well, how big is it? It's tough to say on the nighttime shot like that what the winds would be. I would guess based on the velocities we're seeing, it's at least a strong EF1, probably an EF2. Again, that's an estimate, but this thing means business. It is mean. Okay, this is definitely a serious storm out there tonight. We have any more from Mark?
Yeah.
He's just getting large hail. He's still dealing with large hail, and 72-mile-an-hour wind gusts, at least at his location reported.
Okay, I talked to Mark about a week ago. He put this new high-tech weather station on his vehicle. Now listen to this. It'll allow you to measure the wind even when you're driving. It mathematically subtracts the information from your speed to give you a true wind. So if he's getting a 72-mile-per-hour wind in Tioga right now, that is just short of hurricane force. You're on the north side of this very intense circulation. Just imagine what it's like in the circulation of this tornado, which is tracking just south of Tioga. Folks, this is a very dangerous storm. Again, it may well be an EF2 tornado. Mark Smith, our storm chaser, says, hey, I'm getting baseball hail in Tioga. My gosh. I mean, it can't get much worse than that. We showed you, if we can show the hail core again on this.
Oh, yeah.
Folks in Gunner better be ready because you got some big hail coming your way if it's not already there. And let's kind of skew the map over a little bit so we can get Tioga and Gunner in there at the same time if we can. So kind of pull it over to the left a little bit and, well.
How's that, Steve?
That's perfect.
Okay.
Not perfect if you're in Gunner, you know what I'm saying, but it's a
Right.
good view of what's happening. If we can scroll that back and forth about 10 minutes, you can see how the hail core is also advancing generally east-southeast. Not quite east, not quite south, in between. And Gunner, the hail is there. You're probably already getting it. And if we can stop it and query that pink pixel, I bet you it's at least tennis ball size or somewhere in that range. Egg, okay. Egg is 2 inches. Now we're going to overestimate that a little bit. Normally the estimator is about 80% right. So tennis ball hail in or near Gunner right now. The worst of the hail has left you in Tioga. Now if you're watching from Van Alstyne, what are you going to get? You're going to get the edge of this storm. It is tracking about like this, east-southeast. So you'll get some of it. You may get some hail to maybe golf ball size, hopefully nothing larger than that. Maybe you won't even get that, but it's going to be a really close call here as the storm advances your direction. So if you're in Van Alstyne, I would expect some damaging hail to come in here in the next 5 to 15 minutes. As far as the wind, the worst of that seems to be just to your south, but once again, we could see winds possibly to 60 miles per hour. Now, Mark Smith, one of our storm chasers, measured 72 miles per hour here in Tioga. The worst of the storm, if we can go to the velocity, guys, the couplet there.
Oh, yeah.
The worst of the storm, the core of the likely tornado. This thing is likely to be on the ground. I mean, you don't get much more compelling than that on the velocity couplet. It's been tracking just south of due east the whole time, so we would put that south of Gunner, but damaging wind possible coming out of the east and northeast in Gunner. Salina is probably going to get some pretty rough wind. That would track it very close to Van Alstyne, but probably south of you, putting you on the north side with winds of about 60 miles per hour the way it looks right now.
Yep.
At cloud level, this is not ground level wind. You got to remember, radar beams coming through about 5,000 feet. At cloud level, we're getting a shear of 122 miles per hour. Almost always at that level, it's on the ground. So we've got about 95% confidence there's a tornado on the ground there. There have been several reports of that. You saw the picture. Do we still have that picture? I'd like to bring that back up if you guys have it in the back there.
Yeah, guys, let's bring up the picture, and then we'll go over to Max 1 after the picture. So,
This picture was captured in the last half hour near Sanger, and that's a no-brainer. That is a well-developed tornado on the ground. Again, here's the 3 ways you tell. Can you see the horizon clearly? Yes. Can you see the tornado or cloud function clearly touching the ground? Yes. And it is the right shape, too. So we know that is, without question, a well-developed tornado, probably an EF1 or an EF2 on the ground. That was about a half hour ago north of Sanger, Texas. And Doppler 12 also showing a well-defined spiral here, which is now advanced to the southeast of Tioga.
well, and Brian had mentioned the potential for 2 tornadoes, and I'm seeing another, we're seeing 2 notches.
That's a great eye.
Yeah.
Great eye, because we do have this huge storm front. We're getting little whirls along, and I think this is the primary circulation.
Oh, yeah.
And then this secondary circulation here. So again, that's why we've been telling y'all in Van Alstyne that you could get some damaging wind, although you're to the north of the main circulation. Van Alstyne, of course, right here, will not be hit directly by a tornado, but you may have some damaging wind of 60.
And big hail to, still that big hail going
the hail,
on as well.
I think golf ball hail is a risk in Van Alstyne. Now we're talking southern Grayson County. If you're watching from Sherman or Denison, you're seeing this. This is a live view from our TMC tower cam. A lot of lightning. It's noisy out there. It's super humid and gusty winds, but we're not seeing that much rain really. And everything is off to your south, so you will escape the damage from this storm tonight. Of course, Sherman got hammered by hail twice in the last 2 weeks, and there it is. That's the tornado warning. It's kind of a sliver of southern Grayson County. Looks like, Brian, like it has been extended east, though, all the way to Van Alstyne on that tornado warning.
Yeah, I think they're accounting for that second circulation.
Oh, yeah, look at the lightning in this thing, Bo.
Yeah, that is a lot of lightning right now. So, of course, the massive storm, I mean, we have a severe thunderstorm warning for this county-sized thunderstorm that is moving through Grayson County. I mean, it is covering the whole county. We could go back to the old school warnings for this one, just do it county by county. But the important part that we've been trying to stress is it's the southern edge of the storm that has the tornado warnings. That's where we're seeing the rotation as it's continuing to move. Pretty much, it's at least easy to spot along the county line.
Yeah, this has been an unquestionable spiral in this thing. I mean, you know, sometimes we have these very murky tornado warnings, but they don't really seem very compelling.
We have sirens sounding now in Van Alstyne and Tioga. And if we want to switch to Max 2 real quickly, I have another little storm track on this just for the timing on it. Again, this is going to be heading into Fannin County here in the not too distant future. So we haven't forgot about y'all. Again, we're focusing right now especially on Cooke and Grayson County still. But again, this is not going to be into Fannin County for not too long. So again, folks downstream of that, you need to be getting your tornado safe places here pretty soon, even though you're not technically in a warning. This thunderstorm means business, and it does not look like it's slowing down anytime soon.
Now, what's the forward speed of this?
So about 35 miles an hour to the southeast.
Yeah, Wolf City, Leonard, I know Trenton's over there as well. They just got pounded by hail. What was that, Thursday night, overnight into Friday? And here we go again. We got another very large thunderstorm moving your way. So heads up in Fannin County. This is your advance warning.
That's right. And Brady mentioned something a moment ago about the old-style county warnings. Before 2007, when the technology got better, the entire county would be warned no matter where in the county that storm was. Now we've gone with what we call storm-based warnings, which are far superior. So that's why we have these odd-looking polygons. And Brian, if you can clear the screen and illustrate the tornado warning polygon we have, I want to do that to update folks on what's going on here, and also to illustrate that only the portion of the county affected by the storm and its projected movement over the next hour is covered. So this tornado warning is illustrated right here, covering the southern part of Grayson and northern Collin counties. So that's why Sherman is not included. South Maid, Whitesboro, Bells, Denison, Pottsboro, y'all are not included. In the old days, it would have been the whole county. How confusing when the storm was 20 miles away. So technology has improved a lot. Having said all that, if you're watching from the southern part of Grayson County, you're in danger. We've got large hail, confirmed hail to baseball size that fell in Tioga in the last 10 minutes. That hail core now has passed through Gunter. You've probably had some hail to at least golf ball size there. God bless, I'm hoping I'm wrong, but based on the radar, it doesn't look good. And moving toward Van Alstyne now, you may also have some hail to about golf ball size and destructive winds, not tornadic winds, we don't believe. The tornado appears to be a little south of there.
Y'all want to put it back on Max 1 real quick?
Could have winds of 60 miles per hour, most likely out of the east or northeast in Van Alstyne.
So, Steve, just to give you a little bit of an update. So, there's the two circulations that we're keeping an eye on right now. The first one is just to the southwest of Tioga. That one appears to be weakening and maybe shifting a little bit more northeast. However, the new circulation that was to the east of that is tightening up, currently located in far northwestern Collin County, moving east-southeast. People in the cities of Salina, Gunter, Weston, Anna, Van Alstyne, and northern Melissa needs to be in their safe places. So that is some of our area here kind of spilling a little bit more into Collin County. But friends, family in that area, you need to be getting in your tornado safe place now. It's moving over Highway 75. There's that extremely large hail that you're seeing as well, mixed in with the tornado. So again, tornado warning does continue for this. And at least right now, no news of an extension down the line, but we'll keep you updated on that here shortly.
If we can do a scan between Gunter and Salina of the velocity, I wanted to see if we can correlate that with Doppler 12, because I'm still seeing a spiral there. That's right where it is. So, folks, this is where the tornado is. It's located between Salina and Gunter. Now, if we can punch me up on the wall with that, I can show folks what's going on here a little bit. There you see the gate-to-gate shear. But the most likely portion of the storm that is creating the most damaging wind and possible tornado is between Gunter and Salina, right where we have this little query, this little pixel query, and that's where we have that that red and green right together. And we're still getting 121 miles per hour gate-to-gate shear. This thing has not weakened significantly in the last 30 minutes. It's really holding its own and tracking right toward Melissa, it looks like, right toward the Buc-ee's on 75. Basically, that's the way it's headed. So Van Alstyne, I would be pretty confident in saying, at least from this circulation, you're okay. Now, Brian, you said there was a second circulation?
Yes, and that's the one that's going to be kind of a little bit further to the south. And again, this one's going to be in currently located in far northwestern Collin County, and that will be moving east-southeast. Okay. So that does clip parts of Grayson County as well.
Can we say Van Alstyne's in the clear on both these tornadic circulations?
No, Van Alstyne is, they need to be in their tornado state. They're in that secondary circulation.
Okay.
So again, Salina, Gunner, Weston, Anna, Van Alstyne, and northern Melissa. Those are the areas of higher concern as that the original circulation with this system kind of wrapping up. So the second one, though, tightening and becoming a little bit stronger as this thing continues to progress off towards the east.
Can we do a track on this, guys? Let's do an ETA based on the forward speed of this thing.
I got
you got 35 miles an hour, is that right? We're getting about 35 miles an hour-ish.
I'm going to put it at 40 just in case, but yeah, as far as the next track.
Also,
we have a confirmed tornado now at Highway 289 at Grayson, Collin County. So that may be just to the south.
Grayson County border,
Yeah, it's right on the border, but it's probably going right over 75, very close to there. Right?
Well, 289, it's 289 here. 289 at the Grayson County line, it's right here.
Okay.
And let's do a Doppler 12 scan on that. That's right where we were showing that spiral a minute ago. So, folks, the tornado is confirmed here. Highway 289, where it crosses the Grayson-Collin County line. That makes sense. We were just talking about this a minute ago, that we thought the tornado was between Gunter and Salina, and that's almost halfway between there. So, given that point that we know now is true, confirmed tornado here is tracking right toward Melissa, perhaps Anna, into northern Collin County. That takes the danger out of Grayson County, but we still have a secondary circulation that may create some wind damage around Van Alstyne. This is the primary circulation for sure, but we are still kind of worried that there's a secondary whirl, if you were, up in there that might create some secondary damage around Van Alstyne. So anybody watching from Van Alstyne should stay in their place of safety, okay? If you're watching from northern Collin County on our streaming app, you also need to be in a place of safety. It's a very dangerous storm, Brady. We have winds of 120 miles an hour.
Just got a few updates. First off, I think we have some video, perhaps of hail damage, guys. We can pop that up. Mark Smith is sending me text messages. He said very damaging hail in Tioga. He's at Pilot Point. Officers have. There you go. That is monster hail. That is a baseball or softball right there. So there's the hail that we're dealing with. We're going to see destruction from the hail core and Pilot Point. He says he can see damage. Roadways are closed down. So I think he's having trouble navigating into Pilot Point where this destructive tornado already moved through.
Yeah, we're highly confident now that a tornado did move through there, probably right in between Tioga and Pilot Point. Massive hail in Tioga, probably in Gunner because of the track of that storm. If you'll watch it, it came right through that same area. Gunner's right about here on 289.
Right.
And folks in Van Alstyne, and if you're watching from Collin County on our streaming app or our Weather Authority app, take cover. We have got a tornado warning in effect. We've got a vicious storm. And as Brady just said, with a history of producing huge hail over baseball size, and that is now tracking across essentially just south of the county line here, moving into northern Collin County with wind velocity called the wind gate-to-gate shear of 120 miles an hour, almost certainly still a tornado in contact with the ground.
Right. And so now my eyes are kind of focused on southwestern Fannin County, Trenton Leonard, you got Westminster and Collin County. And like you said, that Buc-ee's too, right there off Highway 75. I mean, they could be seeing, they're on the south end of that, and that's exactly where we're seeing the rotation. I'm going to go over and get back on the computer. And
this is a real beast, folks.
Yeah.
Again, can we go out a little bit wider view possibly? I want to show the folks that are watching what's going on elsewhere in Texoma. We tend to focus on the tornadic storms, and with good reason. This has been an especially destructive storm, apparently, with the hail. Again, Tioga and Pilot Point, both getting clobbered with huge hail. We do think there's probably some wind damage in the area as well. But if we go out on the radar and show what's going on elsewhere in our viewing area, this really is the only game in town. with severe weather in progress across Grayson County and southwestern Fannin County, Collin County. Elsewhere, you're good. We've got some light to moderate rain, a few rumbles of thunder to the east of Bonham and Paris, but this is not any kind of a concern. This is the problem. So I just wanted to briefly show you that we're watching for your weather too, but there's nothing out there to be worried about except this horribly big, violent storm that has produced confirmed damage now in probably in parts of Cooke and Denton County too, but we know for sure that it's caused some damage in southwestern Grayson County and probably northeastern Denton County around Pilot Point. Tornado warning continues, and do we have the parameter on that warning, Brian, as far as when it expires?
Let me double check this real quick.
It's for the southern third of Grayson
Hey,
County.
real quick, Steve, we got almost 900 people without power in Montague, 1,000 without power in Cooke, and 600 in Grayson County without power.
Okay, so power failures are coming in. We have about 900 people in Montague County, about 1,000 people in Cooke County, and about 600 in Grayson County without power. Now,
This is for 11:45, by the way.
okay, 11:45. Let's show that tornado warning. Now, I am quite confident, based on the way this storm has been hanging together, it's really maintained itself quite well, that a new tornado warning likely be extended that may cover southwestern Fannin County and southeastern Grayson. Now, if you're watching from Tioga, it's over, but you've had a lot of damage there. I would encourage you, if you're in an area that's had some damage, when you go out to inspect it, be super careful. There could be live power lines that are down. There could be glass and nails and broken debris in the streets, things like that. So if you can, wait until morning to take a look at that stuff. I understand you got an emergency, you've got to take a look now, but if that is the case, wait at least until the lightning has gone away. You're still too close to the storm to safely inspect anything until you no longer hear the thunder. Once you no longer hear the thunder, you should be good. But again, be super careful. With the type of damage we may have had here, there could be broken gas lines, things like that. We suspect there's been some significant tornado damage somewhere in this region of southwest Grayson or northeastern Denton County. And again, the most dangerous part of the storm now appears to be right along the Grayson-Collin County line.
Power flashes reported in Salina.
Power flashes reported in Salina. So that's consistent with this area of damaging wind that we're tracking with this storm. Again, if you're watching from Van Alstyne, you're going to be close on this. We encourage you to stay in your place of safety. The most dangerous part of the storm for you is now as close as it'll get. So whatever you're getting in Van Alstyne, that's going to probably be the worst of it in the next 5 minutes, and then things should begin to improve after that. So you can see clearly our rotational couplet located right on the county line here between Anna and Howe, which means Van Alstyne. So we're seeing evidence of the strongest wind, though, in northern Collin County. We can go back to that maybe and pull that
I'm going to zoom
velocity
in for you.
I'm going to step over here on this side. So I think the most intense part of the storm is right here, Brian, right there, northeast of Salina. Right there we see that bright green. That looks like that would be, that's it. So this is where the tornado very likely is, folks. And again, we just had a report of power flashes in Salina. Do we know where in Salina that was? Was there
Let me see.
something specific there?
It says northeast of Light Farms. There's a location called Light Farms, northeast of Light Farms in Salina.
Okay, that's probably a couple of miles northeast of town. There's so many new housing developments, it's hard to keep track. But in the vicinity of Salina, when you see power flashes, you know that high winds are hitting something. Probably an electric line or a transformer causes a miniature explosion, which we interpret as a power flash. So when we see those at night, it's pretty much a heads up, 100% that there's damaging wind happening at that point. So that's consistent with where the tornado would be right now, about 2 miles northeast of Salina, tracking east-southeast, heading right toward the Anna, Melissa area. Now this means that Van Alstyne, you should not have the tornado coming to you, but there could still be some damaging wind